My name is Bamidele Salam, in the north and the south Agbedo range in Federal Constituency of Osun State. But the NBET asked for a little time to get prepared for this hearing, and we oblige them. Let's quickly have introduction from the MD and his team before we move on.
Chairman, profound apologies from myself and the entire management of NBET for the delayed commencement of this hearing. It's not in our character and it will not happen again. Akinao Johnson is my name, acting MD, NBET. And with me today are members of the executive management of NBET who, with your kind permission, take turns to introduce themselves.
Yes, please.
Good afternoon, Honorable Chairman, and other distinguished members. My name is Itohane Hede. I'm the General Manager, Guarantees and Risk Management, NBET. Thank you.
Honorable Chairman and honorable member of Public Accounts Committee, good afternoon. My name is Sambo Abdullah. I'm the Chief Financial Officer for NBET. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Honorable Chairman and honorable members of the Public Accounts Committee. My name is Eugene Edoga. I'm the General Counsel, Company Secretary.
The NBET is here this afternoon in response to the 2019 and 2020 Auditor General's query. Is it 2019 and 2020? I think so. It's 2020. All right. Sorry for the mix-up. Your document, you actually wrote 2019, but I think it's 2020 from our house here. But it's fine. So we have 5 issues which the Auditor General has presented against the NBET by virtue of the powers conferred on the Auditor General by the Nigerian Constitution. And I'm sure it's not the first time the MD or his team are coming before the Public Account Committee. What we do here is that we allow the queries to be read out to you, after which you make your response. But before then, you have to be on oath. That's the standard practice. You can do that by any of the holy books or by affirmation. Whichever one you choose has the same implication in the eye of the law. So you can please go ahead and administer the oath on the MD and any other person who may have something to say in the course of this investigative hearing. Thank you.
Do solemnly swear and affirm that the evidence I shall give before the committee and all the documents that I will present before the committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Submission of audited financial statement from 2017 to 2019 fiscal year. Paragraph 3210 of the Financial Regulation 2009 states that the Chief Executive Officer shall submit both the audited account and management report to the Auditor General and the Accountant General not later than 31st of May of the following year of account. In spite of the extant regulation, the Nigerian Bulk Electricity Trading Company failed to submit its audited financial statement for the year 2017 to 2019 to the Office of Auditor General for the Federation as at the time of the audit in October 2020, and the above practice by the company contravened extant regulation on the submission of audited financial statement. Thank you. From the former Managing Director and former officers of the company, totaling 188.3 million naira. Audit observed that the sum of 321.7 million naira was paid to a former managing director of the company and 7 other staff as staff mortgage scheme revolving loan for the acquisition of property while they were in active service. Of the above amount, a former managing director received the sum of 85.2 million naira in January 2018, while the balance of 236.4 million naira was paid to 7 officers in July 2016. At the time of the disengagement from the service in July 2020, the former managing director had only repaid the sum of 35.7 million naira naira, leaving an unpaid balance of 49.5 million naira. The sum of 97.6 million naira was recovered from the 7 former officers of the company, leaving an unpaid balance of 138.7 million naira. In all, the sum of 188.3 million naira remained outstanding as at the time of audit in October 2020, and all the officers in question were disengaged from service in 2018 without paying the outstanding loan of 188.3 million naira. Thank you.
By practice, we don't accept submissions being brought in on the day of hearing. It's like ambushing the committee, because we need time when you make your submission to analyze them and streamline the issues as well as the responses that you provide for each of the queries. But because you explained that you were pressed with time and because you just assumed the office, I want to just say that we'll be waiving that rule for you so that we can take you today. Ordinarily, we should just tell you to go and then take another date. But we'll start today. Even if we cannot conclude today, we'll know that we have at least taken a leap forward. So I will ask you to respond to issue 1 and issue 2 in line with the submission that you brought in here. Thank you.
Appreciate your consideration of our plight, and we do not take it for granted. Regarding the 2 issues that have been read, for the first issue on the non-submission of audited financial statements for 2014 to 2019, admittedly, there were gaps in submission of the audited financial statements. However, that has been rectified subsequently. The reason why those if you see our response in the column in the middle, Embed's Pioneer Board of Directors was dissolved on July 2015 pursuant to circular issued by the federal government, issued by the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, which we have attached to the submission. A new board was only reconstituted in May 2020 and inaugurated in June 2020. You would agree with me that the board needed to be in place to be able to appoint external auditors to audit the books of the company and to approve the audited financial statements after the audit in line with the Companies and Allied Matters Act. So, on the reconstitution of the board, Embed subsequently commissioned the process following the board's approval of the appointment of the auditors, and all the financial statements have subsequently now been audited and filed with the relevant authorities, the Auditor General's Office and the National Assembly. So this issue has been addressed, Mr. Chairman, sir.
Okay. I've listened to you, sir, and we just want to know this period without the board of directors, without the board, that actually made this not possible to submit. Was there any communication with the Office of the Auditor General and the Accountant General to let them know your situation? Because this, you have actually violated the law. So ordinarily, we would expect that there should be a communication. Yes, you are new in the organization, but there are people in the system. And the expectations, you're supposed to actually communicate to the Office of the Auditor General and Accountant General to notify them of this gap so that it will be on record. Is there any of such?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Leadership is a continuum, so I take responsibility even for my predecessors. But I want to explain to you that the Auditor General carries out periodic checks we are visited by at least 2 or 3 teams of the Auditor General on a yearly basis. And each of these times, we had made it clear to them, they have understood the situation that we do not have a board and we cannot...
Asking whether there is any correspondence that you can submit to this committee that shows that you, in realization of the weightiness of the burden that the Constitution and the law has placed on you to submit the audited account, which you said you couldn't fulfill because you had no board. Did you at any point make this submission in writing to the Auditor General and the Accountant General of the Federation?
We did not specifically make it in writing, but we told the teams, it is something we explained to the teams at each of their visits to MBET. And there was a government circular that was issued to all government agencies dissolving boards of MDAs. The Auditor General is in copy of the circular dissolving MDA boards.
You assume that I should take judicial notice of that?
Yes. So we wrote on that to explain to them each time they visited.
Okay, let me ask you. Are there other decisions that, yes, I'll come to you, Honorable. Are there other decisions that are statutorily taken by the board apart from the decision to appoint external auditors?
Yes, Honorable Chairman, typically when a board is dissolved, the items that require board approval, to the extent that they are very important, they are escalated to Mr. President through the Minister of the Supervising Ministry of the agency.
So there are some other decisions that ordinarily would require a board approval, apart from the decision of appointing an external auditor?
Yes, but they are not governed by the Companies and the Kama Law Act. Those are operational decisions for running the organization.
Because if you could attend to those matters in the absence of a board, I was just trying to imagine what will happen if you attend to appointing your external auditor. But like you have said, maybe because that's a statutory matter,
yes,
that you needed the board's approval to appoint an external auditor. What? So you want to comment?
But even the question asked by the deputy, he has not really answered the questions directly. Because at that period, you have contradicted the law at that period. Even though you just came in newly, but you know that accent and the ability you have inherited. So that's why we are throwing this question to you.
All right, but yeah, that's one honorable colleague. Let me also ask, you said you have the audited account now for up till 2021. Is that correct?
Yeah, we also concluded the 2022.
No, don't worry. Let's even take 2021. Do you have a copy there? Or do you have an acknowledgement letter or copy to show when this submission was made to the Auditor General of the Federation?
Honorable Chairman, we can provide not just the evidence, but the entire audited financial statement for the...
That's what we're asking. Do you have it there? That's the question.
In the folder. We don't have it in this folder.
Do you have it in your custody where you are? Is it part of what you submitted to the Secretariat of the Public Account Committee?
No, Mr. Chairman.
It will be important for you to submit. I thought that should have been part of your submission, so that we will be rightly convinced that you have done the needful, even though you couldn't do that because of understandable handicap. So, pending the time when you make those submissions, we're going to suspend our ruling on this issue number 1. Let's move on to the second issue.
Mr. Chairman.
The second issue has to do with non-recovery of debts from your former managing director and some former principal officers of the company. So you can go ahead and respond to that, please.
On the non-recovery of outstanding debts from the former managing director and former officers of the company, there has been a significant change in the position. A number of these staff have been recalled, and the recoveries have been made on the outstanding, specifically the former chief finance officer, Waziri Bintubi, who has subsequently left the company, is fully paid. Sambo Abdullahi and Henrietta Ngomrere. However, for the former MDs whose severance are yet to be paid, the situation is as stated in our response on the last column. And I will read. The management has further written to the former MD and CEO, Marilyn Amobi, on her indebtedness to the company. B. Fatih Habib Shehu had submitted a request for the consideration of her exit from the company with the aim of reinstatement.
Let's take this one after the other. You said your father written Madam Marilyn Amobi on her indebtedness to the company. What does that mean? She has repaid? Or you just talking about the step you have taken?
Yes, we've further written her, reminding her of her indebtedness and her severance. Because her severance has not been paid, we are still working on processing her severance.
Has the money been recovered?
Her indebtedness has not been recovered.
So that's to the tune of hers is to the tune of how much?
The sum of 321.7 million naira was paid to a former managing director of the company and 7 other officers.
How much is against the...
Of the above amount, sir, a former managing director received the sum of 85.2 million naira. So, as at the time of this audit, the former managing director had repaid the sum of 35.7 million naira, leaving an unpaid balance of 49.5 million naira, sir.
49.5 million. The letter you also claim to have written here is dated 15th April 2021. This query by the Director General is contained in the report year ending 31st December 2020. The General had expected that before that time you should have made a demand for the repayment of this loan. So why were you just writing in 2021 for a loan that should have been paid a year or two earlier? So take those two. Yes, please.
When was the MD, former MD, disengaged? When?
In 2020.
2020.
Can you just respond to those ones?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In response to the issue of terms and conditions, like I said in my presentation, the former MDs are entitled to severance. So they are, the company
has mentioned as part of the condition for the giving of the loan in any part?
At the exit point, there's a standard form.
No, please. I don't know what the nature of this loan is, but when you talk about indebtedness in this form, you make it appear as if it's a general rule that people can decide to keep the money to themselves and say, well, by the time I'm leaving, at least I'll be paying some money. So by that time, you can remove your money. Yeah. I'm not sure that is the rule in this kind of financial transaction.
Okay, so this indebtedness we are talking about, Mr. Chairman, is an upfront of by the design, is an upfront of the furniture and the housing allowance, but taking ahead multiple months to enable the staff acquire a house for themselves. So once you take it on an annual basis, you are no longer entitled to that portion of your allowance.
How many years was she the MD?
4 years.
Okay, what is the tenure of an MD?
4.
Yeah, so we have a very similar experience here, even in the National Assembly. You take a loan, we took loan for housing, we took loan for car at the beginning of the year, but you pay every month, and it is spread over a period of 3.5 years. So there are about 5 months.
This is benefit for staff. But usually if there is, based on what he's explaining, if you are leaving, the computation should be done immediately. But in this case, this is 4 years we are talking about. So it means for me, there is no even intention to recover these funds by the organization. So when I resigned, I had to pay back my housing loan immediately before they accepted my resignation.
That's what is the issue.
Because there was that arrangement. So ordinarily, before this person leaves, or the period, there should be a period for recovery. 4 years is too much for this recovery. It's too much, sir.
And if you recover now, I'm not sure you are going to recover with the interest that should have accrued ordinarily.
Mr. Chairman, sir, that means there are more to it. That means that the agency or the company, you can just dip your hand into the government money and assume that I'm going to live and pay at my time. If not, there should be terms and conditions before giving out the loan, and should be prepared that before your expiration of that date, the money should have been paid without no stressing the man going. So if that is not, if that arrangement is not there, then that means there are more to it. That means that organization will have to investigate more. It's like there's no proper terms and conditions. They give that loan to
how
staffs.
much is the severance of Madam Marilyn Amobi?
Okay, so there were concerns about the computation of the severance, and a committee is working on the severance.
What was the status before this change? There must be a status, there must be a template.
In the letter of appointment, on the condition of service of an MD, is there a specific mention of payment of severance benefits to an existing managing director?
Unfortunately, Mr. Chairman, there was no clarity on that.
There is no. The answer is that there is none. That's what you're saying. So it leaves the organization with the latitude to determine its own severance package. Is that correct?
No, the onus now fell on the organization to propose and get an approved severance for each chief executive.
From where? From who do you get that approval from?
From the board of the company and
by virtue of which law do you do that? There's a National Salaries and Wages Commission that has the national empowerment to do that. So
typically the board approves before we approach the National Salaries and Wages.
So have you approached the National Salaries and Wages Commission?
We have.
Do you have an approval?
We have. We have.
So you will submit that, but that gives you the answer to the question we're asking. How much? And so you are still computing, even after having the position of the Salaries and Wages Commission, you are still computing since 2020 to the end of 2024. You are still doing computation.
Distinguished Chairman, you are aware I'm just barely 1 month on the seat, and one of my commitments is to try to resolve all these issues. And I've been approached by the last 3 MDs and appealed to resolve the matter. That's why I said, Honorable Chairman, that it is being worked upon at the moment, and we are determined to resolve it and clear all this backlog of severance.
Mr. Chairman, because this is not just applied to the MD alone, it also applies to other staffs. There was really issues, so many of this is like the operation. You just go there and just take your hand into government cost.
Honorable Chairman, I take exception to that remark, sir.
Excuse me, please, help me.
Can I clarify something?
You can only clarify after, excuse me, please. When a member is making his point, allow him to finish, and then I will turn over the microphone to you.
Thank you,
and then you
Mr.
can
Chairman.
take your own declaration. So let him finish. He has the floor.
Because to me, this is what it takes. Because until you give us evidence that, and Mr. Chairman, and also we need a law that establishes that agency. Let's see if they have constitutional power to just dip your hand inside the house and think about when to pay or not pay. If from just set example of as a member, we have the options of 4 years. We will take money from the furniture or car loans. We know that for that donations, it's already stated in our terms and conditions to be paid. So So if that is not done, then there's a problem.
Yes, so let me listen to you respond to
Some words used by the honorable member that we dip our hands in the pot. That is, nothing can be further from the truth. The MBED is a corporately responsible organization. We do not make any disbursement that does not have overarching approvals that meet financial regulations that are in line with the Act of Parliament. We do not. And I need to make that absolutely clear. For the issue of the severance, I've explained, Honorable Chairman and Honorable Members, that the severance has had issues, and I've been called on assuming this exalted position as acting MD by the former chief executive, who have appealed to me to look into the issue and find a way to resolve all the backlog of severances. And with
the matter that brought us
for the staff issue.
Just a moment, the matter that brought us here is on how much. You remember that's what we asked. Yes. How much in severance was or is the former MD entitled to? And then you don't have a figure to it. You don't have a figure to it. So you should understand what he's saying and put it in context. That doesn't mean that you just sit down and you just put up a figure or whatever anybody will have. Do you do that as a result of laid down, principles of computation?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. That is exactly why we have not rushed to pay any amount. Thoroughness is being brought to bear to calculate so that mistakes are not done. Perhaps by the time the computation of the severance is done, this entire money may be recouped in completion. But I cannot give a figure now because the committee of the internal audit and finance that are working doing the computation are still doing the work.
Alright, so you will provide us with a copy of the approval of the National Salaries and Wages Commission on the severance package of the managing director and the letter through which you conveyed the board approval to the Salaries and Wages Commission as well as the rest of the Salaries and Wages Commission. Okay, yes. So for the other staff, are they also entitled to several
thank you very much. Hours? Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honorable Member. The other staff include Waziri Bintubi, the former CFO. The reason why his name arose here was that he had issues and left the company. His appointment he was disengaged from the company and was subsequently brought back. So as at the time of the audit, he was out of the company and they found an outstanding amount that he has not paid. But when he addressed the issue and he was brought back, he subsequently paid. The payment got recovered from him before he now finally left. He has finally left the company now. So as at the time he left now, Waziri Bintubi has cleared, he is no longer owing the company because that has been cleared.
And that was as at when?
Last year.
Okay, so in the document you submitted to the committee, you have evidence of the full extinguishing or payment of the sum, starting the name of Waziri into that nice sample and Henrietta Igbo. Do you have documents showing the liquidation of the sums?
I just spoke with my CFO now. He says the actual evidence of recovery is not here, but can be provided.
Because you have a complete liquidation. You submitted later, you need to submit complete.
The payment for this mortgage is through the salary. So you can only see deductions from the pay scale. On monthly basis, the gross salary is stated. So part of the deductions from this monthly salary is the repayment of
the auditor had asked you for an evidence of liquidation of the money. You wouldn't tell them that. You must have something, even if it is a letter that you write to the employee to state that the money has been paid. There should be something.
We can provide that person. But we have the letter recalling all the affected staff in this school that we have
No, it's not only protection. Whether they were reported or not is not the matter that we are looking at here. We are only concerned with the query of the Auditor General. So we need evidence. We need exhaustive evidence to show that this money has been recovered for these other persons that you have listed. You can move on to C now.
Honorable Chairman. This relates to another staff, Chukuma Isichi, who has left the company and is making payment. He's still making his payment.
When he had left the company, what did something happen to him? How will you recover the money? Because when the CFO was explaining his true salary, I don't really understand true salary. Because what if something happened? How will you recover this money? CFO.
Thank you so much, sir. The one being through the salary and the staff still in the service of template. So for those people that left, at the time of this
address the issue of Chukuma Isiche.
Yes.
Is he in service?
No, it's not in service.
He's no longer in service?
Yes.
Has the money been fully recovered from him?
The money has not been fully recovered, but we went on at the point of discussing this month, there's a guarantor standing in for that amount. And at the moment, we are mounting effort on the guarantor to make sure that...
how much is the amount in question from your own records? From the record, how much is standing against the name of Chukuma Isiche as indebtedness in the Nigerian board?
I don't have the actual figure for now.
We are not prepared for this year in Embed. We can't be having, I don't have this document, I don't have this information, it doesn't work that way. If you are coming to defend the query, you come with your full responses, documentary evidence, which will be supported by your oral testimony. That is how it works.
Where was Chukuma Secretary of the Solution?
Okay, Secretariat? Yes, what are the evidence?
Yes, so the outstanding balance against Chukuma is 6.7 million, exclusive of accrued interest on the monthly loan as outstanding.
Exclusive of, you said something exclusive of?
Okay, exclusive of accrued interest on the mortgage.
What is the accrued? What is the accrued interest? I see your 7 million as at when?
As at 2021.
As at 2021, and that was the last payment.
The last payment he made was 400,000.
On what date? The last payment was September 2019. It appears you are not actually interested in recovering this money. For whatever reason, you are not interested. You just feel that this money should go. You know, the last payment was September 2019.
Okay, not as happens is getting now after 2024. Dr. Chairman, there's another one here, Fatima Habib Shehu, has written to request for a reconsideration of an exit from the company, with a view to restating Inspect's credit. So I don't know if you can make a little clarification on that.
Okay, so Fatih Habib is meeting her obligations timely.
Any budget? From which head of your budgetary provision were they paid?
The loan was not funded from appropriation. It was funded from the market statutory revenues from regulatory income of the company.
So were they budgeted? That's the question.
Yes.
It's not the budget is not whether it's from appropriation.
Okay. They were budgeted.
Because this is one mistake that most of you agencies make. Your revenue also has to be budgeted for, and the budget has to be approved by the National Assembly.
Sure. Okay.
That's correct.
So,
Sir?
it
It was budgeted for and approved.
All right.
Like
we need to have the evidence of that approved budget from where the head, from where these monies were actually paid out as loans.
Like I explained,
amounting to this sum.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman. Like I explained earlier, these are personnel cost budgets. It is the staff entitlement as per allowances was paid for multiple years and recovered from the staff as the months arose.
Yeah, I understand. Like we said, it's not anything strange. We also enjoy it when we come into office, and it's part of our budget. It's there in the budget, and it's also voluntary. A member may choose not to take that loan. Some people will choose to take, and when you take, it is structured in a way that you have to offset a few months before the end of your tenure. So there are always terms and conditions attached to, some loans. What is something say?
You see, you do not see a budget for this scheme. Why? Because it is part of the salary package of staff. It's personnel cost. So it is the personnel, just like the way the staff is taking the salary advance, for example. You don't have a line budget for that one specifically.
So how does it appear in the budget?
This is part of the personnel cost.
I understand. The personnel cost is also the personnel component of the budget is also broken down.
Yes.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It will appear somewhere that it will just be like an omnibus, provision. You understand what I'm saying? It has to be tracked. That is how the auditor will come and know that this money that's meant for A was not actually the money that used for B or C. You get the point that we are making. So that's what we're asking that that you provide, because just like the Auditor General is worried that this money after about 5-6 years have still not been recovered, we are also very, very worried. And we feel this is not a very good practice. It's not also good for the image of MBET as a corporate organization that you have this kind of outstanding monies on page. So we will not be able to rule on that matter until you also make those submissions, the details of the terms and conditions, the approval that you got or that you issued for the payment of those monies, and the status of each of the repayments. And the one that you have affirmed now that paid last in September 2019. What specific action have you taken from then till now to ensure recovery? And like you have said, these people have guarantor. How do you apply the rule against their guarantors when there's a default in payment? All this has to be submitted before the next hearing on this matter. Honorable colleagues.
So I also want to find out the recovery of this loan. Where does it go to? Where does it go to? Does it go back to your account? Are you operating on that TSC? Or you have a different account maintained CBN?
We operate under TSC fully. We are not under any commercial banks. So as my MD rightly mentioned, we will have what is called the regulatory income approved by the regulator, that's Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission. From time to time, they have a line item for personnel for running of the office, we have one office in Africa here. So the money, you have an account, a sub-account under the TSA, where the money is being distributed and open.
We have other issues that I'm sure will also take a little more time. We have to look through the ones we have submitted. The ones we have observed that you have not submitted, we'll ask you to make those submissions when in time. The Secretariat will communicate to you as to the date of the continuation of this hearing. It's already 4 p.m. and we have some other very important engagement to attend to. Everybody can have the motion for attending this.
Thank you, Mr.
Special Chairman, Deputy Chairman, Police Secretariat, and I in fact of I represent the group of federal constituency now from after we have exhausted that issue account, I have moved for the adjournment of this meeting tomorrow, 10 a.m. And so,
Mr. Chairman,
can I speak?
wait, but let me take a second to the motion.
Mr. Chairman, Deputy Black, invited guest. My name is Dr. Suleiman Abe, member representing the good and very fantastic of the Korean conferences. Mr. Chairman, after all the deliberations and motion moved, I hereby second the motions that this sitting should adjourn till tomorrow 10 a.m. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, before I come to question, let me give the analysis of the yes, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I want to create the indulgence of the chairman and members, honorable members. Tomorrow, 10 a.m.
No, it's not about you. Tomorrow 10 a.m. is about the continuation of our own hearing.
Okay.
It's not about you. We will communicate you on the next date of your appearance. So tomorrow is about us, not about you. I mean, you want to feel with us, not to see tomorrow. Honorable colleagues, those in favor of the motion that we should adjourn till tomorrow, say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. Have it meeting adjourned till tomorrow.